So first of all, I would like to say hello, sir. And today we're going to do the configuration, the cloud server, by separate the application server and the database server into separately. Yes. So now let's start. First, we have to create our server. Just going here. So we have to create the two separate server, one for application and one for database. And for the which private communication, I already created for the local communication between the app server and web server by using that local IP address. Here's my operating system. For me, I pick 24.0 and the regular 20 per man here. So now let me open the notepad. So here is my machine password. Let's pass it here. Monitoring, and I have to create two server. One is for my application, and and another one is for my uh, database server. Okay, for database. So everything is work correctly. Let's create a job now. Wait a minute to the server configuration to be finished. Okay, now it works. So let's use the information here and copy this thing to make it easy. I have to, what is that? Let me clear this out. Sorry. Um, Here is the app server. So the IP address, I have to paste it here. Here is the new public IP address, private IP address. Pass our information here. Now let's start with the um, database server. Here is a private, public IP address and private here. So pass it all here. Okay, now information is finished. So what we have to do is to install the Apache server application and the PHP and the extension, PHP extension for my actual into the Apache server or application server. But to do that, we have to remote access to our virtual machine first. So now I have to access through my app server first. So copy the public IP address and remote access to secure serial, paste it, and click OK. So login as the root user and the password I already listed here. So pass it. Okay, so here is my application. So I have to rename it to make sure I am not confused. Okay, and another one, another one is have to access to my database server. Go copy this IP address and then open the new secure shell and paste it and remote access to another machine. So machine password is the same. Has it. So I rename it again. Here is for my database server. Okay, click OK. So now I have two virtual machine on my computer, one for application server and one for database server. So let's move to our task. So we have to install the Apaches and PHP and PHP extension for my application server. So let's find the command. Here is the command to install Apache server. So going to app and paste it here. Get installed it. Yes, take a little bit of time. And it's done. So second, I have to install PHP. So for PHP, I will install the latest version, PHP 8.3. Let's find the command to install it. Here it is. So now let's install it. Uh, okay, paste it here. Oh, sorry, this doesn't work. I have to install the PHP. So actually, the PHP 8.3 here, as you can see. So I think now it's work. So I have to cd to make sure that my server is running. My purchase server is running. I have to run my system ctl status Apache 2. So my server is currently running. Screenshot here. As it here. Tab shift. So now I have to demonstrate that my PHP and my PHP extension is work. So second, I have to download or install the PHP extension for my actual. So copy the command line right here. And then what I have to do, let's see, paste it right here. Oh no, not that. Control C, and then paste. Oh, sorry. I have to download the right version for for PHP. So now to make sure that it's work, we have to uh, run the PHP script and access it through the browser to make sure the PHP um, application and the PHP extension is work. So now let's cd to our uh, the uh, the root directory for our um, uh, web directory. Yes. So navigate to it. Have to navigate to the file www and HTML folder. Enter it, and we have to remove index.html and thread with the new extension, which called PHP. Okay. So in here, write the PHP script and echo the information PHP info to make sure that the PHP script is running. So to make sure that we have installed the PHP application and the extension for MySQL, we have to check this IP address here. So load it. So now it works, and on my actual extension, MySQL here. So it works. We found the extension. Screenshot it and paste it through here. Okay. So now, okay. So now let's move on to the database server. Open the database server and install my actual server and my actual client for both of app server and database server. So copy the command line. So here and go into this. Yes, install. Okay. So now it works. So to test that my actual server is running on my database server, we have to run this command. Sorry. Status. Mm, my actual. So it works. Screenshot it. Okay. Paste it here. Um, sorry, it's not here. It's here. And now let's move to my actual client. Find the command line. So install it for both server. Just the command. It's work. Paste it here. Hey guys, you want make a buy and it work. So The next thing what we have to do is to write a PHP script to test connect to the server and so on to that process. So the next thing that we have to do, we have to create a user and give permission to that user. Yes. So find the command. So I have already created here. I have to create a user. It's going to that database or paste it here. Oh, I have to I have to access for this, my actual server first. So from actual.u.p and enter. So the table, so database, sorry, here it is. Screenshot that thing also. So so now going to create the user. Is it? Sorry, tracing. So now I create this user and let give it give him the permission to accept to my database.conda right here. So first I have to create the database first. Create database p and conda. Sorry, database tp conda. So create and grant the access. Paste it here and it works. So screenshot the thing I saw. So now I can create my what can I call my new user called Conrad. So the next thing that we have to do, we have to exit and we have to configure the file name. Uh, where so here I have to configure the file to to allow that any machine to access on my actual server on this machine on this current machine this IP address. So to allow outside world computer to access to the database server, we have to change some configuration on the file in this directory, and we have to find the sentence which called bind address. The word, yeah, that's called bind address, and then we have to change to from the local host IP address into the 00. It means they accept any IP address everywhere around the world. So Control X to save it. And next thing we have to restart. Um, sorry. Now know it again to make sure I have config. I have to screenshot it. If file and paste it here. Okay. So to make sure it work, I have to restart my machine. Sorry, restart my actual system ctl. Restart my actual. Wait a minute. So it worked. Now I'm done with setup database server. So our next task is to write the PHP script to test connection to the database server. Okay, we have to write the PHP script to test the connection to that server here. So now let's search for PHP connect to my actual and copy that connection here. And now let's open app server and navigate into uh, nano dot php. So in here, let paste, sorry, paste. Okay. So to make sure that I can connect it to my Azure as well, I have to write the username for my server. So the username is Kunara, the user that I can add at the moment, and the password also the same. And for this localhost, instead of localhost, now I can access the database server through my app server machine. So I have to paste to I have to pay this database server the database server IP address also to make sure it works. So save it. Now to test, we have to refresh. So here you can see it work. They said it connects successfully. So it means that now I can connect the database server outside from its machine, which means I can access anywhere around the world. Um, like you can see right now, I access my database server through my app server. Yes, and use their IP address and I can access it. So I have to screenshot this also to make sure it works. Okay, to and paste it here. So what we are going to do next is test the database by connecting outside the world. So it's mean that let me show you one more thing. The VPC. So the VPC, it means that for the database for the app server, I can access the database server not only with their public IP address. I also can access it by their local IP address communication, which means they are here the private IP address. So now that change this private that public and replace it with the private IP address to say that do does my application work in the local network with the database or not. If it is in the same local, it will be able to communicate with this private IP address. So now let's test it. Oh, sorry, I forgot to save the file. So test it. If it work, I hope it work. Okay, it work. Okay. So it means that uh, the application machine can now communicate with their are in the local network because they can communicate it with their the private IP address. So our next task is to connect it outside the world. It means not between the local network, but we can access from our computers, client computers, yes, like this DBE were here. So I can remote access by far, yeah, by using the public address, not between my application machine with the database machine, because they are in the same network, so they can access through public and private, both of them, both of it. But if I going to use my computer, I also can access it by using their public IP address. So now let's copy the public IP address. It's here and access it through my DB over here. So going to, sorry, my actuals over here. So I replace the call with the IP address. The database name is DB Conrad, and the user is Conrad. Also the password. So now let's finish. So here I can access it. As you can see, my database. So um, here, and now currently it doesn't have any table. So let's create one table for it. So I can create it in here. So now let's log in as root user. Create so the database and select use the db.conrad. Okay, and create table. Create table name something like Conrad, a student. So it's not. Mm, so let me find a command to create a table. So like here and paste it here. Okay, so let's show table. So I have one table right now. So let's go into my DB over here and let's restart it. Refresh. So here, I get my table person here. Yes, in the database called Canada. Okay, so it worked. I can remote access it outside the world. Um, that all the person screenshot it, paste it here. So I can access it through the. And the last thing, we have to create a firewall for my database server and application server. So to create it, first going to my app server and create it. And I will get through network and go into firewall here. So I have to delete it here. More, delete it. Try it. Create a firewall. So for database server, I have for inbound traffic, I allow the actual for and also SSH. So SSH is ready in here. Also my actual here. And for the inbound, for outbound it's not. So I have to delete all things and apply it to my Ubuntu server, app server. Okay. So name is the a firewall for the app. So here it is. So let's view it, screenshot it to make sure it works. And last thing is to add the firewall for my apps. So for inbound is port 22. Thing here is the apps database server. And here is the database. It's the port 22 and not port 18, but only 22. So let's go into the oh thing wrong is the database server. And here's the apps. Okay. Oh, now that remove it and add a firewall for my database server, for my apps. Sorry, for my apps. Here. So for apps server, I'll get you the network. Edit the firewall. So here at droplet, it's not the database server either. So for the last previous thing, it's not the database server, but it's not the app server, but the database server. Sorry, at droplet. Okay, so now let's create another one. Here is for the app server. So firewall app server. So for the inbound, we allow SSH and HTTP. And for the outbound, we um, we allow my actual. So 8006. Okay. Outbound only my actual. So here and apply it onto my app server. So it's done. So here is the firewall for my app server. Screenshot it. And now my work is done right now. Yes. So